Are you struggling to see the success that you want to see on YouTube and you feel like it's just a game that you can't win? In this video, I'm going to share how I have achieved so much success in such a short period of time this time around versus my last try on YouTube. I tried to go on YouTube about 5 years ago and I didn't see nearly as much success as I do now. And I have a few pointers as to what I did differently, were costly mistakes that this time around I didn't do and have led to great success. So in this video, I'm going to share all of that. And if that sounds good to you, stick around. Hey everyone, Alexa Saarenoja. If you're new here, I help new YouTubers grow on YouTube. Okay, so let's jump right in. First thing is probably if you're new to seeing me, you're like, why should I listen to you? And so briefly, I just want to share what has happened on my YouTube journey this time around for the past 6 months when I decided to go all in versus 5 years ago when I didn't experience any success. So the past 6 months, I restarted my YouTube channel 6 months ago. And since then, within 10 weeks, I became monetized on YouTube and became part of the YouTube Partners program, which allows you to make money from YouTube ads. Then within 3 months of being on YouTube, I started coaching in a consulting firm and started charging hourly to meet with people. And then after that, within the past month or so, I have started a high ticket coaching intensive program that lasts 6 months that I have made over $75,000 worth of sales on. So I have seen great success on YouTube, and averaging monthly income is higher than any income I ever made while working for someone else. So it has been quite an amazing ride for me. And I'm also almost at 20,000 subscribers. I'm like around 19,200 at the moment. So as of recording this video. So I've had a lot of great growth on YouTube, and I do think it has a lot to do with the way I approached YouTube this time versus last time. So let's talk about those differences. The first thing I want to say is that this time I was very scrappy. I was all in and I had a really strong why. I had lost my job in January. I live in a foreign country, which of course I call it home now, but I live abroad. I'm an expat. I live in Finland. I'm an American that lives in Finland. I had been working since living in Finland always for an American company, actually in San Francisco. And now when that job went away, I had to realize and face the fact that I don't speak Finnish and I need to find a job ASAP. And finding a job in Finland is already a challenge for the people that live here. And then for an immigrant, it's even harder. So that was the biggest why for me. It was kind of like this or nothing. And so that was one of the biggest things. I really had a strong reason why I wanted it to succeed. Whereas the first time around, I had a job, I was comfortable, I didn't really need the extra income, but I was trying to get out of my 9-to-5 job. So I think that the why was really strong this time, and I kept showing up no matter what. I showed up when my kids are sick. Some of my videos even have my kids in the videos, and I kept with my goals, and the strong why really helped me to keep going. Whereas the first time around, if I missed a week, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So consistency and showing up was a really strong motivator in this time around. So that's the one thing I would say, is to be consistent and to have a really strong why of why you want to be here, because it is a hard road and it's a long road. And if you don't have a strong why, you are probably going to give up easier if you have the comforts of another job. And one of the biggest mistakes I made in 2019 when I tried to go on YouTube was also that I was there for me. It was all about me and what I wanted to accomplish. So I had created a course on a self-transformation, live your best life course. And I had spent many months developing it, and I had created it, had over 20 hours worth of educational content in it, and also had a workbook, almost 100-page PDF workbook that went along with all the lessons that I taught in the course. The course was highly developed. It was a really great course, but the problem was that I had never coached anyone on how to live their best life. I had never actually helped anyone to do that. I had used those tools to help me, but I had never helped anyone else. So I wasn't even proficient in what I was writing a course about. I was a teacher and I was an adjunct professor at a college when I wrote that course. So I knew how to write courses and I was proficient in writing courses and teaching courses, but I wasn't proficient in that topic. So that was a big problem too. I think it's really important to be proficient in what you're trying to teach on YouTube, or else be proficient in teaching if you're teaching someone else's information. So if you're a knowledge reporter and you're providing information that you're learning, you at least need to be a very good teacher in order to have a level up or have some more motivation for people to stick around. But yeah, so I wasn't proficient in what I was doing, and I was only on YouTube to sell that product. I wasn't on YouTube to provide value. I was on YouTube to like use it as a vehicle to get people into my course. So that was kind of a backwards thing. I feel like I had the cart before the horse with regards to that. I had created a course, but I had never done any kind of research on the people I was creating the course for. I didn't even know if it's what they wanted. And I was just on YouTube to try to sell that course. So in all my videos, the first thing I said was about my course, about my podcast, about my coaching, all of these things. It was never about the person first that's watching the YouTube videos. So I think this time around, what I did differently is I just came to the platform and I provided tons and tons of value. I just made videos to help people. I made videos to inspire people. I made videos to share what I was learning that was working for me to grow my channel. And I just shared everything I was learning. And I was completely authentic, transparent, and I was there to really help people and inspire people. Even though I had lost my job and I did want to make money, I was in a comfortable place in that I had my husband's security to get me through those first few months of YouTube. I had never taken a break from working after, having given birth to all my children. I just kept working for this US company. I never stopped. So when I lost the job, we had discussed and he allowed me or together we decided that I could take a little break from working. And so then I jumped all in on YouTube and tried to grow my channel. So I was able to grow it from a place not out of desperation, but from a place of like excitement and enthusiasm and really wanting to share the knowledge that I was learning. So I was so excited about it because it was helping me grow my channel. So it came from a very different place. I would also encourage you that if you're trying to grow your YouTube channel and you're feeling it's out of desperation, like you need to make this work, you need to make money, that I would almost recommend getting a part-time job or keeping your job until you are able to support yourself with YouTube. Because I think if you are providing value from a place of like you already know you have money and you don't need the people's money that are watching your YouTube channel, you will come across from a much better place than if you are coming across from desperation. That will come through your videos if you are just on the platform to make money. So I think that it's really important to show up and really care about people and want to help them. And that I think was one of the biggest drivers of my success this time around, was providing value first. And then once people had so much value, they were then asking me to provide them with services that they could pay for. So it actually worked completely opposite than the last time I tried to do this. I tried to sell, and no one was buying. And now I try to do value, and now people want to buy and I had nothing to sell. So it was really interesting predicament. So that I think is really important note. Another mistake that I made, which I kind of alluded to with creating that course, is that I didn't know my audience at all. Like I didn't know their pain points. I didn't know anything about them because I had never even worked in that field. I had just taken life coaching certification programs, did some pro bono coaching here and there, coached the other students that were in the course. But beyond that, I really didn't know people's pain points. So I couldn't really speak to my audience on YouTube because I didn't know what they needed from me. I was just kind of picking different topics and posting on that. So my niche overall was self-development. And that leads me to my next point. This time around with YouTube, I had a very specific niche. I was helping new YouTubers grow on YouTube that were over 40, Generation X and beyond. So Gen X, baby boomers, etc. So I had a very targeted niche. The last time I started, I was in just self-development. And self-development is huge and it's highly competitive. And there are huge channels out there that are doing self-development that can post on lots of different categories because they are so big. But as a small channel starting out, I couldn't be everything to everyone. I needed to niche down in order to capture a part of the market in the self-development realm. So I was posting random videos. They were all under the umbrella of self-development, but they weren't in a specific niche or category. So if I had maybe targeted women over 40 going through a transition, maybe mothers, first child, new mothers, those types of things for self-development for new mothers, dealing with triggers as a new mother or something like that, that would have helped me grow faster. So I'm a big advocate of niching down, and some people aren't, but I truly am. And I really think that was the big difference this time around that helped me reach success faster than last time, because I was posting in all kinds of categories of self-development. I was posting in entrepreneurship, in fitness, in health and relationships, and all over the place. So it really slowed the growth, in my opinion. And another mistake I made with that falls into this kind of like not knowing your audience, doing stuff like teaching stuff you didn't really know about, is that I wasn't proficient in it. With not being proficient in something, you don't have a confidence in it. So when you come to YouTube, there is this sense of imposter syndrome already because you're trying to be a YouTuber and you've never done YouTube before. So you already feel like a little bit of an imposter. And if you're 40 plus, you already definitely feel like a fool being on YouTube because it's just not part of our generation. We didn't grow up with YouTube. We didn't grow up with YouTubers and influencers. Whereas my child's generation, they think influencers and YouTubers are the best job in the world. But our generation doesn't feel that way. Our generation feels like you need to get a real job, go to work, 9 to 5, etc., etc. So when you come to YouTube, you already feel a little bit like an imposter trying to be here and trying to make a business on YouTube. It feels a little silly, actually. It's not at all, but it does feel that way. And people will make fun of you as well. People will, of course, also think it's a little bit foolish for you to try to build a business on YouTube as well. So there is that little bit of extra imposter syndrome placed upon you. So when you're teaching something on YouTube that you're not proficient in, you're already feeling imposter syndrome for these other reasons, and then you don't even know what you're teaching about. That was my position. So I was trying to be a knowledge reporter, but I hadn't even done or experienced the stuff that I was teaching. Like I was trying to help people achieve something that I hadn't even achieved myself. So it was completely incongruent, and it felt there was a big dissonance in what I was doing, and it was obvious in the videos. If I go back and watch those videos, even though there's valuable points in those videos because I was just regurgitating what other people had taught about self-development, there's important and value in it. I wasn't alive. It wasn't me. You didn't see my personality at all. In these videos now, I show my authenticity. I'm very transparent. I'm very honest about what I do and do not know. And I'm here to inspire people. And so it's just completely different. And if I watch those videos from 5 years ago, I look very robotic. I lack all confidence. And the funny thing about confidence is that if you are confident in what you're teaching, one, because you know it or you've tried it and it works, but two, because you are so passionate about it and you know it can help people, you will come across in your videos as confident. And people trust confident people. People trust, like if you're showing up confidently, I will want to learn from you because you obviously are in a good place in life. You obviously know your stuff and you know what you're talking about. If I come across like, so today I was going to talk about how successful I am on YouTube, and I was thinking I could kind of help you guys with those things. Like it's a very different energy, right? Than me being like this and this really helps me, and I think it can help you. Like I have a different confidence about myself now that I didn't have back then. And of course, some of that was just being younger, and now I'm older. I'm 45 with 3 kids. I've lived a lot more of life. I have a lot more experience. Even though it was only like 5 years ago, I was in a very different place. I was new in my marriage, new to having kids. Everything was so new, and I was traversing all of these new hurdles and triggers and all of that stuff. And so now I'm at a very different place. I'm very comfortable with who I am. So when I speak about things, I'm also more confident in that. And I'm also more confident in teaching because I have 5 extra years under my belt of teaching at a university in the US. So there's lots of things that built up to my success this time around versus last time around. But I do think that you need to be confident and proficient in what you're teaching for people to even trust you or see you as an authority in that topic that you're trying to teach. And that doesn't mean you can't teach something you don't know about. Like you can be a knowledge reporter, of course, but you also need to come at it from that place of saying, I don't know this stuff. I'm learning it now, but I think this has helped me, so I think it can help you. Just be totally transparent and authentic. And authenticity is really on the rise in YouTube right now too. So you'll notice all these different YouTubers popping up and people are gravitating towards them because they are authentic. They are real. They are saying, I'm struggling with this and I'm trying to overcome it. I'm trying these tools and this is what's working. This is not what's working. So they're very open about it. And I think when you're open and honest about where you are, that will attract the right tribe to you as well. And the last thing I'll say about this, the mistakes that I made in the first journey on YouTube was that I didn't engage with my audience. I didn't even realize there was a community. Like I said, I had not used YouTube much at all. I didn't know the platform at all. And you really need to know the platform that you're using. So one of the biggest things I would say too is if you're new to YouTube, become a consumer of YouTube. Learn how to consume YouTube before you try to create content for YouTube. Since the past 5 years, I have used YouTube for all kinds of stuff. I have used it to learn Finnish. I have used it for, asking advice about my children, like what they're going through from baby to, from newborn to toddler. I've researched stuff like that. I've researched recipes. I've researched how to be a better mother. I've researched how to raise girls. I've researched how to be a better wife. I've researched so many things on YouTube, right? I've used it a lot. Back then, I had never really used it for a few things here and there, or maybe had to learn 3ds Max or something for architecture, but I never really embraced and jumped into the platform and really understood it. Whereas now I have a much better understanding of the platform. So it's much easier to use it in regards to creating content for it because I understand how people are utilizing the platform. Like, for example, the other day, someone told me, you should get on TikTok. It'll help you grow your YouTube channel. And I was like, I don't know anything about TikTok, And they're like, just place your shorts from YouTube onto TikTok. That doesn't work that way because people use TikTok in a very different way than they use YouTube. YouTube and what I'm teaching is long format. So my topics are very long, in depth. They provide you with lots of value, but it takes a little bit of time to get that value across. It's not TikTok. I'm not doing a quick dance and then moving on. It's got more value and depth to it. I'm not saying that TikTok isn't valuable, but I'm just saying it's a very different platform and I know nothing about it. To try and just repurpose my stuff to TikTok is not going to get me anywhere because it's like my first experience with YouTube. I didn't know YouTube and I was using it for a purpose that wasn't the right purpose. I was using it to sell my stuff. I wasn't using it to provide value. And that is what YouTube is for, providing value, helping people get answers to their questions and helping them get from point A to point B. I wasn't doing that. I was just providing them with my solutions that you could buy outside of YouTube. It's not what they came there for. They come there to learn. I think it's really important to know your platform, but also know how to engage with it. So my audience, they started to engage with me on my videos and were asking questions. And I took weeks to get back to them. I was like, oh, I'll get to that. But I was too busy trying to sell my course or make podcasts or make other courses and all these things that I wasn't even engaging with the few people that actually were giving me a chance on YouTube and listening to me. I never even responded to them, or I did weeks later. And I went back actually to my videos not too long ago and I noticed that people were actually asking me for coaching in those comments and I never even saw it. So it was a complete opportunity missed because I didn't understand how the platform worked itself. So it's really important to understand the platform, but also understand that there's a huge social aspect to YouTube. One of the biggest parts of YouTube is the community in the comments. So paying attention to those comments, engaging with those people is very important for growing your channel. And I would say that is one of the biggest things that grew my channel. And that is also one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed about being on YouTube was meeting the people, was connecting with a tribe of like-minded individuals and really growing together, learning from each other, having conversations in the comments, and so much more. So that's my story of how I grew on YouTube for the past 6 months and how I've seen lots of success and hopefully more to come. And it happened very fast. So I think that anyone can grow on YouTube if they're willing to put in the work and show up, but also to understand some really important nuances about YouTube in order to accelerate that growth further, faster. So thanks for listening. And if you want any help with YouTube, I also offer coaching and there's a link in the description below. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.